Good morning, it's Tony Hayes from Paranormal Investigation UK. Today's date, the 1st of April 2022, and we're back on the second of the captures this week that was completed by Somerset Paranormal and Penni, Wallace. Where are we? EVP 2. Just a quick update, those that have watched what I call EVP 1, which is this one here, which is on YouTube, obviously. This one here, Penni was able to get out of an EVP that was unusual, but what I found intriguing with this particular capture was the number of plus marks, tick boxes it gave. So, for example, Penni's talking in that area there. This is a stereo track. Okay, look at this, is left and right. So that's Penni talking, that's Penni talking, and so is that. Now, the EVP is this area here. It just as Penni finishes the first part of a sentence, it's just there. We're talking in total 8 1/4, 10 1/2, just over 2 seconds where this voice is heard. To me, it sounds something like you or you. Not too sure. There's always going to be differences of opinion on that. The standout characteristics of this particular EVP, which was striking: 1, the feathering of the frequency. If you look at that, this is what you generally do. As I'm talking now, it starts to sort of level out. If I begin to raise my voice, it lifts up, and as I continue and finish whatever I'm saying, you get this natural decay. And you can see that on all of them. That feathering is so unusual that I can't recall encountering that before. And I don't know why that is. There's something within that frequency that's different. I'm actually going to speak to a friend in the Netherlands on this point, who looks into I generally use frequency analysis in 2-dimensional, he will look into it in 3-dimensional and get into it to see why we've got this feathering effect. What is also unusual, if you look at the remaining 3 areas where Penni Wallace has been speaking, they're generally identical, which is what you're going to expect. The stereo microphones, because I asked Penni about the recorder, and it's this particular device, the Sony recorder. So I know the model, and I've looked into the model. And it has got, as I first thought it had, it was one single microphone, but it's a stereo microphone. But it's working on a basic what we call XY or AB, which is left, right. Some stereo microphones, you do have the ability to alter how they perform. If that was the case, and that the left side of the polar axis on the microphone was different to the right hand side, I would expect to see that effect on all of them as far as signal strength was concerned, but you don't. As Penni's talking, they're exactly the same. So it is working on an AB or XY polar axis, both reacting identically. But for some reason, on the right hand side, I was estimated between 40 to 50% lower volume. Difficult to account for that, considering the microphones are so minute that you don't have to look at it may be 3 or 4, maybe 3 or 4 millimeters across, circular. So what we've got here, the power on the right side, volume-wise, is about 50% less than the left-hand side. difficult to account for that sort of performance. The other one is this is unusual feathering that's occurred compared to Penni talking. The other areas where the actual tempo of the audio, I actually saved it, slowed it down by 50%, 100%, and 150%. They're the three that I saved to bring it the tempo into something like what you would call listenable range. And if you look at the actual volume itself, the volume is up down that way. That is about as loud as Penni talking. So if we're dealing with a disembodied voice, for example, a voice close by which the microphone is then picked up, that is loud enough. It's the same sort of power as Penni's voice, so she would hear it because it's almost next to her. So an incredibly intriguing capture, that one. And today we're now looking at what I call EVP 2, which is the second of a series that Penni sent in to us. I had a quick listen through Media Player previously, and there is something in there which we're going to strip down and do a similar process is what we did with this one. So from a paranormal investigations point of view, it's not just about listening to an EVP on YouTube or on a recorder or some sort of attachment that's been sent on an email. It's about analysing it and take into account all the dynamics of the capture. So in this case, it's a powerful Type A EVP, loud enough so if it had been disembodied, Penni Wallace would have heard it, but she didn't. It's gone to the recorder by means we just simply don't understand. Can we say that it's different, it's not a human voice? The answer, simple answer to that is yes. What's imperative is when people ask you to analyse footage, captures, movie, whatever, listen carefully to what they tell you. And it's likewise if paranormal groups get clients send information through to them, you have to take into account what it is what they're telling you. Personal statements are really important. The other side of it is it different to the other voices that are captured? Absolutely different. We've got differences in volume on the right hand side, then left hand side, difficult to count with a single stereo microphone. In fact, on a basic left right, I don't think anyone's going to come up with an explanation for that. So that's critically important. So what we've got from that is a little bit of information that when we move on to other EVPs, not just this location, Somerset, but other places as well, that we can use that as well. You're aware of it, and I've not come across this before, and I've been doing it for 33 years. This is quite unusual. The other side of it is the feathering as well. So critically important that this is a Class A EVP. The only issue we got over is what word is spoken, and you'll always find differences of opinion on that. And how anyone can deny that is not being critically important to paranormal investigation is staggering. Generally, good investigators do understand that. So, right, we've got this one. I'm not going to waste your time any further. I just wanted to recap and go back over that particular EVP from a couple of days ago that I did. Because the idea behind these movies is not just to analyse it, but to make it a learning tool. I've been involved with sound for over 30 years. So, and I do generally try to help people so they can learn themselves and improve the captures, in particular where they set the recorder up. So, this is a little bit longer this time. Okay, so as I said on the previous video, I'm using a amplified set of headphones, so everything's a little bit louder to me than what it would be normally for listening to laptop speakers or even general headphones or mobile phones. You really do, greatest advice I can give to anybody is get yourself over here headphones that isolates you away from any outside noise, keeps the sound within. Let's have a listen through to this. I'm just going to line up a couple of things ready. I do have a general preference for an analog analyzer. That just tells me the frequencies and how loud something is. And I'm just going to bring some EQ in case I need that. And I often use this not to EQ or enhance it, because somebody mentioned on one of the comments about enhancing the EVP that I did for Penni a couple of days ago. The only thing that I did is to EQ sounds out of it that you didn't need. You use some background noise because you're outside of the environment. That's all I did. I didn't turn the volume up. I did slow it down, but I also left it as standard speed as well. That is an enhancement. So, right, let's give this a go.
If you don't want us to come down to try to speak to you one evening, please let me know. You can let me know on this little black box that's on the bench next to me.
Right, I think there's something there. Sounds to me like thank you. When you listen to audio, or you're sending audio into anybody to listen to, it is useful that the area of interest is cut away and presented. Such as this, I've got 15 seconds. That's ideal. What you've got to try and do, particularly in the morning when you first get up, is don't listen to the audio back 2-3 times. Just keep it going and acclimatise your ears and therefore your brain into the sound what it's hearing.
If you don't want us to come down to try to speak to you one evening, please let me know. You can let me know on this little black box that's on the bench next to me. If you don't want us to come down to try to speak to you one evening, please let me know. You can let me know on this little black box that's on the bench next.
Yeah, just playing it 2-3 times just gets your brain working with it, gets used to the sound that's being produced. There is an additional voice in here compared to Penni. It's around about here. It sounds like thank you.
Please let me know. You can please you can you can you can you can
That is a very, very interesting voice. Penni generally confirms that, if anyone's been about, she tends to go into these investigations with a partner, and she will tell me if he remains silent or he said something or anyone else in the vicinity. So, and I've done a few now for Penni, and I consider it to be an extremely reliable when it comes to captures. But that's again very, very intriguing. Sometimes it's difficult because obviously Penny's talking before it.
No, you can. No, you can. Let me know. You can. Let me know. You can.
I think it says, I thank you. I, not thank you, but I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. The I and the thank being quite close together.
Let me know. You can. Let me know. You can.
It sounds malish and it sounds youngish.
Let me know. You can. Let me know. You can. Let me know. You can.
Another impressive one, this. Okay, let's get rid of these for a second. What I'm going to do is similar with what I did before, is to slow down the tempo, I should say, of the sound itself. I'm actually going to go to 400, which is 300 times slower. No, it just really just stretch the file, as you can see there. Suddenly, it's got a very big file. Jumps from about 15 seconds to whatever. And now all I've got to do is go and try and find it. In fact, it's there, isn't it? I'm just going to cut away. There's nothing else in there that they're interested in.
Let me know. You can. Let me know on this.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. Now I'm going to time stretch it again now. Okay.
Let me know.
Okay, I think that's got it there. Okay, I'm going to leave that as it is, and I'll put it back to 100, which is the normal tempo that we had. Okay. That is absolute Stonewall Class A EVP. Loud, clear. What frequency is this using? Okay, what I'm going to do is to just make another track up. Let me just duplicate that. Okay. I've left the first one generally intact, but I'm going to change the tempo of the next one. I'm actually going to do my default, which is 150. So I'll get roughly the EVPs that have analysed over the years, and I've analysed thousands of them, I generally find that a default of minus 50% tempo, slowing it down by half, is sufficient to bring it into human tempo. It's not exact science, but I'm generally not that far away. And I don't think it's needed. I'm quite surprised that it seems to be in normal tempo. The difficulty we have with EVPs is that they come at you in all different types of condition. Some are really degraded, scratchy, robotic sounding, different volumes, and so on and so forth. This is incredibly clear. It's obvious what's being said. I thank you. It's not that much lower in volume than Penny's voice. Is it the tempo normal because it's such a good clean EVP? I don't know. I'm not saying I'm suspicious with the tempo, but I'm pretty confident that is human tempo. Right, okay, some of something just to think about. So what I'm going to do now on that one, loop that back in 2, and I'm going to use some EQ on the second sample. What I tried to do the first one is leave it completely intact so people can got something to compare. The second one I'm going to see if I can clean it up a little bit, takes out some frequencies that we don't really know. We certainly don't not going to affect the voice. Use that. Alright, let's see how we go. So I'm just going to repeatedly play that back. So what I've done now, I've just got rid of a lot of the birds singing and the background feedback or interference that you can hear. I've left the voice spectrum. I've done this so many times, I know exactly where the voice is generally tends to be. So if it's a synthetic voice, for example, say that was being done by a mechanical device, the frequency will be different. This is unique to just to a human voice sound, and this is what makes the EVP so intriguing. So if I was using something like a an Oculus 3, for example, one of the ITC of devices, if she's got that robotic voice, the frequency is going to will not be there. And likewise, if someone who's introduced some fraud by using a mechanical voice, so say something they've been on one of these text to speech, Google text to speech, that type of stuff, I will suss it because the frequency is different. So that's certainly within the voice frequency. The other thing I'm going to look at now is, I've got one I don't need. Let's get rid of that a second. Now there are differences. I can't see it. Yeah, it's a slightly lower volume, so the frequency does look similar. Yeah, okay. So the first one's at 100 normal speed. The second one is normal tempo. I've not slowed it down at all. With the second one just having the EQ to clean it up. So I'll send that to Penny. What I can do with this, let's move that out of there. I'll paste that 4 times, and then likewise I'll do the same with the other one. Then anyone listening back that don't particularly are not that interested in the analysis side, just interested in hearing what we've got, it just makes them easier to understand, because I've got 4 of the original ones, which is completely untouched. I've got no EQ. In fact, I can take it out. I've got no effect in at all. No volume, no EQ, no enhancement, zero, nothing. It's only become clearer because I've removed Penny's voice before it. The second one, the only thing I have done is I have EQ'd it, which you can see there, but I've not amplified it. So I'll listen to that back, and then that should do it for this particular one. Okay, so that's the end of this video, EVP2. Again, an incredibly good, great capture from Penny there. I think it was done in a different area. I'm not familiar with Somerset. I'm based over in central Cheshire, but I'm pretty sure that she said that it's in a different area. She did actually send me some pictures where it was taken. It might be on another one. Churchyard. Yeah. Okay, just sat on a bench. The talk about doing an investigation at this church later. So yeah, excellent EVP. I'll save that one now for Penny to listen back to, and I'll see. I'm going to do the third one next. So see you soon. Bye.